Good evening, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Hermanus in South Africa, in the Western Cape, on the Garden Route. Earlier today, I was asked if I'd seen the advert from We Buy Cars, a South African company founded by Van and Dirk van der Veld about 25 years ago. Have I seen the ad? And I said, why? And I was told that they were mocking refugees to America. So I did catch the ad. And the funny thing about stuff like this, some things don't catch on right away. It's only later that they catch on. Someone comes across it who's deeply offended by it and tells someone, or someone who finds it cheeky. For years, Nando's has courted controversy with its cheeky ads, but I have to say that I always find them humorous and not insulting or racist. And they find just the right approach to take to thread that fine line or thread that needle between being disrespectful and being entertaining. And they pull it off with aplomb. Nando's ads are amazing. I've always found them quite cheeky, but fun. This is not cheeky or fun. It's incredibly disrespectful and rude. It misses the mark entirely, mocking President Trump about the FIFA World Cup and about refugees and black and white South Africans. The only part that's cute in there that actually has some humor to it is the look like this from the white guy and the same look from the black guy, like they're going to come to fisticuffs when they're just, hey, the same sort of fans. But they mock the United States. And I think that We Buy Cars should be ashamed of themselves. But they're going to get exactly what they wanted. I've looked on YouTube. I don't know if this ad plays on television, but it's been posted on YouTube for 4 weeks. 2,900 views. I mean, there's people who take a dump and get more views than that in their bathroom, showing themselves straining. So 2,900 views is not much for this advert. I assume it must have been played on television or radio. Maybe that's why people are upset about it, but it hasn't got much traction on YouTube. So after 4 weeks, 2,900 views. I guarantee you that it will get more views now. But the bottom line with this whole situation is that it's incredibly inappropriate and way off the mark. Not even remotely funny. And here's the thing. We buy cars, whether they like to admit it or not, and whether they believe so or not, or exploiting the suffering and misery of South Africans who feel the need to flee this country because they're being persecuted. They've simply fallen right in line with the legacy fake media in South Africa and with politicians mocking the refugees, mocking their plight. And it's incredibly disgusting. This is not a joking situation, refugee status. You want to joke about being coy and being San or being white or being black? There's some humor there. There's no humor about people forced to flee their homes. And it shows you, whoever made this, the condescending behavior of the people who have no appreciation for the situation and don't speak for others and don't care about others. It's an absolute disgrace. And so instead of saying we buy cars, should we call them we are the people who are incredibly tasteless? Honestly, what is the deal here? Who does this serve? But it will achieve what they want. It'll get a lot of people's attention. But as I said, a lot of people are desperate to get out of South Africa because of the persecution they faced or fear for their children. And they only find out because what I believe is incompetence of the contractor. They're only notified often 3 or 5 days before they leave. And sometimes that includes weekend. How are you supposed to dispose of your vehicle except someplace like We Buy Cars? And so perhaps it's time for someone to look into We Buy Cars and see if they use predatory purchasing and take advantage of people who are desperate. If you're a refugee and you go to We Buy Cars to sell your car, I would never tell them a refugee. Just tell them you're looking to buy a new car, you want to get rid of this one. I don't know what you're doing, but that'd be my advice. I'm not calling for a boycott of the company. I'm not interested in that. It's not a BE company. It's not a cater enrichment plan. But it is an incredibly insensitive, disrespectful, and rude company to run an advert like this, mocking refugees, mocking Trump over providing refuge to people who've been suffering. So sad to see. But you know what? Companies are in it for a buck. And there's nothing wrong with being in it for a buck. But when you exploit people, that's a problem. When you exploit the misery and suffering of people, especially when you're so callous and uncaring and don't know the circumstances. The whole advert is an absolute disgrace. Not even funny. Like I said, I watch Nando's ads. Sometimes like, ooh, that was close to the line. But they're always entertaining. And they're successful. And they have been for years. I don't know if they use the same advert firm, But whoever they used, the people that made this ad seem more like the crowd that come from Bell Pottinger than somebody on Madison Avenue. Shame on them. You shouldn't mock people who are desperate. Imagine if a company made an advert mocking black South Africans. There'd be heads rolling. The South African Human Rights Commission would be apoplectic. They would be losing their minds, screaming. But this advert's been up on YouTube for 4 weeks, and I don't know how long, if it's running on TV or radio, if it's actually running. But it's unacceptable. We buy cars. More like we court controversy, which is okay in itself, but more like we are the truly tasteless people. Dirk, Van de Walt, I think you owe South Africans an apology. What say you, South Africa, Mzansi? Cheers.